Thank you for joining me today. I'm very pleased to be presenting Does Your Board Know Their Roles and Responsibility? So before we get started, a little bit about me. My name is Sabrina Walker Hernandez. I've been with the nonprofit industry for over 25 years. My educational background is I have an undergrad degree in political science and a master's in public administration. And over the course, and I have a nonprofit management certification from Harvard Business School. Over the course of 25 years, I have worked in the nonprofit arena in direct services, operational executive leadership. And in 2018, I retired as the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Edinburgh. So I not only have you for a small window of time, so let's get into our objectives. Our objective today is to develop awareness of the context in which the nonprofit board operates, to review the collective role of the board, and to explore the responsibilities of individual board members. So let's get into it so we can be cognizant of your time. Roles and responsibilities. There's three primary roles that a board of director has: trusteeship, provide oversight, and ensure necessary resources. So what are we talking about when we talk about trusteeship? So trusteeship is safeguarding and managing resources so as to be accountable to the community at large. So what does that really mean? For us, that means, for the nonprofit world, that means that do you have a strategic plan in place? Do you have a mission, a vision, or purpose? This is what your board is supposed to have. This is the single most important thing that your board role has, because your mission is your reason for being, is why you exist. Your vision is the path that you're going to go on and what your goals are going to be. And it's going to determine your viability in the community, how many sites you have, how many clients you serve, what are your major programs that you're offering. And so you need to spend some time in trusteeship and determining that and just determining where you're going to go. The next area is provide oversight. So if you're a board member, you must attend meetings to stay engaged and provide leadership. The reason for this is, you can't get action done without a quorum. You must have a quorum in order to move things forward. This oversight responsibility requires the board to ensure legal and ethical integrity and maintain accountability, establish a budget, which is a key policy tool, determine, monitor, and strengthen the organization's program and services, and support the CEO and review his or her performance. I cannot tell you how many times a CEO has not been reviewed or they review themselves. This is a board responsibility. The other thing we're going to be talking about is ensuring necessary resources. Now, this is where board members kind of shake in their pants, because it's funding. For the purpose of this discussion, we're going to spend a lot of time on funding. So the board has to ensure adequate financial and physical resources, including raising and contributing money, enhance the organization's public standing, select the CEO or executive director, manage assets efficiently, and strengthen the board by recruiting and orienting members and assessing their performance. So what does that all kind of mean? There are some collective board duties, and there's some individual board duties. So let's talk about some of the board fundraising responsibilities as a whole. So they have to support the organization's sustainability, identify strong leadership, approve adequate budgets, plan for the future of the organization, be familiar with the overall fundraising plan, participate in the fundraising process, clearly define annual fundraising goals, and delegate responsibility to meet these goals. Now, that's a lot of information, but nonprofit board members have many responsibilities when it comes to raising funds for the organization. Some of these responsibilities pertain to the board as a whole. Others are the responsibility of each individual board members. So what we just went over are the board as a whole. This is what the board as a whole must do. But there are some individual responsibilities that also each board member has. But let's continue to talk about the board fundraising responsibility. The board fundraising responsibility, amongst all the other things that we just spoke about, is also create fundraising and donor recognition policies and ensure fundraising methods adhere to an ethical standard. In order to fulfill its fundraising responsibility, the board first define the context for fundraising. If it does this by clarifying the organization's mission. So we're going back to the mission, supporting its stability, identifying its leadership, approving its budget, planning, all those things that we just talked about. Now, this is going to vary per organization depending on the size and the fundraising need, but this is what a board of directors is supposed to do in the area of fundraising. So let's talk about some of those individual board responsibilities. And let me just say this, if I talk too fast, just let me know. I tend to talk fast. I am from the South. I'm consciously trying to make myself slow down as I speak. So you will catch me pausing and trying to slow down on my own. So individual board members, we've talked about this. Attend meetings, stay informed about the nonprofit, review written materials, serve on committees, inform others about the nonprofit, suggest nominees to the board, and participate in the fundraising process. In addition to working to fulfill the responsibilities of the board, this is what each board member is responsible for. All board members should give a personal contribution to the organization. I'm going to repeat that. All board members should give a personal contribution to the organization. In addition to giving, board members can get involved by identifying, evaluating, and cultivating prospects, writing appeal letters to prospects, accompanying staff members on solicitation, writing annual appeal letters, organizing or attending special events, and thanking donors and keeping them connected to the organization. While the board establishes policies and goals related to fundraising, members of the board are responsible for helping implement these policies by participating in the fundraising effort. So, again, how can a board member participate in the fundraising process? Well, they can make a personal contribution. They can identify, evaluate, and cultivate prospects, attend face-to-face solicitation, write appeal letters, organize and attend special events, and thank donors. I noticed the second time I'm saying it, but it's worth saying twice to slow it down, because this is what they're personally responsible for. And I know some people kind of got taken aback when we talk about make a personal contribution. So let's see why that's important. Why board members should give. Okay, here you go. It demonstrates a personal commitment. It encourages other funders to give, and it creates board member ownership. Now, this is a little controversial for some, because many board members feel that because they donate their time to the organization, they should not have to donate money as well. It is important that board members give financially to the organization for many reasons. One, 100% giving from the board shows the board is committed to the organization. This can be important, particularly if you're out soliciting. You don't want to seem hypocritical. You're asking people to give, but yet you have not given. And so you have to make sure that 100% of your board is giving, because you don't want to have that hypocrisy out there. The other thing is, a lot of foundations out there will not give unless it's documented that 100% of the board is giving. And so you don't want to be the reason why you don't get a certain grant from a certain foundation. Now, everybody, again, has a way of saying there is no magic amount. It is whatever amount that your board has agreed upon. I can say with my former organization, we had a $500 give amount from each board member, but a lot of organizations, it depends on what your board wants. But the whole goal is that 100% of your board members are giving to the organization. So let's talk somewhat about the fundraising facts and figures. And the reason why we talk about that is because a lot of board members get freaked out by asking for money. They think, they get all nervousy. But let's talk about why people give, and let's talk about some reasons why people don't give. And I hope this makes you feel better. So why people give to nonprofits? They feel a connection to the organization. Their peers are giving. Someone asked them to make a difference, to share their good fortune, for recognition, to ensure the organization's ability to fulfill its mission in the future, for tax reasons, to ensure that pet projects find a home. So there are many reasons why people give to nonprofits. the board members should understand the reason behind people's gifts so they can appeal to that actual individual and get why they're giving. So, for example, if someone's giving because they need a tax write-off, you wouldn't necessarily go talk to them about making a difference. They're just not motivated by that. They're motivated by a tax write-off, or vice versa. So you have to do your homework when you're going to ask people, and you have to know why they give and what motivates them to give. And there's some reasons why people don't give. So why don't people give? The solicitation is infrequent or poorly communicated. They don't see how their gift would make a difference. They never feel wanted or needed. They receive no direct personalized appeal. They gave an unacknowledged gift in the past. That means someone did not say thank you. They were not asked to give. The timing wasn't right, or the organization mission was just not compelling. And if you remember, we talked about trusteeship and the board developing that mission. So that mission is very important. Board members should understand the reason why people don't give. And if you heard me say they are not asked to give, that's the number one reason why people don't give, because they're not asked to give. So people have to kind of get over that fear of asking. I always say, you're not asking for yourself. You're giving people the opportunity to invest in your mission. And so if you can walk through the door saying, I'm giving this person the opportunity to invest in my mission, that is a very much more positive mindset than, oh my God, I'm going to beg, or oh my God, I'm going to go ask these people for money. No, you're asking them for an investment, and an investment in your mission. So let's talk about it. The other thing is, a lot of people say, well, there's no money out there. We're in a poor area. Let me pause there for a moment. My organization is located in the third poorest county in the United States. My budget grew from $750,000 to $2.5 million annually. So there is money out there. And let's look at the figures overall. So last year, $410 billion was given out to nonprofit organizations. That's $410 billion. So there is money out there, regardless of the size of your community. It is out there, and you just have to know how to assess it and how to get your board understanding their role in fundraising. And that's what we're going to spend a majority of our time talking about. So there are stages of fundraising. Okay. So those stages are: stage one is cultivation, and door opener. So you have a board of directors, and there's like, I don't want to ask for money. I'm scared. It's not my forte. Well, it may not be their forte to ask directly for money, but they can be a door opener. And what does that mean? They can identify potential donors or prospects. They can help you build those relationships with the prospects, generate interest in the organization, show prospects what the organization is all about, their history, the program, the finance. They can tell the story of the nonprofit and share their enthusiasm about the mission. So, for example, if you have a board member that don't want to ask for money, but they know a lot of people, then have them just make an introduction. I will tell you the story of a board member that I worked with who to this day will say, I am not good at fundraising, but was the door opener for major gifts to our organization. I mean, raised hundreds of thousands of dollars just by opening the door. And so just some board members are not going to feel comfortable making that direct ask, but what they will feel comfortable with is the introduction, and they will be that door opener. So do not discredit people when they say, I'm not a fundraiser. They're just not a fundraiser when it comes to making the ask, but they can be great cultivators and great door openers, and they lend credibility to your mission because people know them and they trust what they say. And so when you sit down and you're talking about your board and how it goes with fundraising, just put yourself a slot for door opener. And then the next stage is solicitation, making the ask. You do have some of those board members that are very passionate about your organization. They're not afraid to ask for anything, but those people are your askers. So They can present the organization case statement. They participate in face-to-face solicitation. They can send direct mail pieces with personalized note. They can make telephone solicitation. Those people are valuable too. They're just not afraid to make the ask. They will go with you on the visit. But what I would say about the making the ask is, before you get there, you have to make sure you're cultivating them with the door opener, that you're not asking for a gift the first time you meet them. Always equate fundraising with dating. You don't go on the first date and ask someone to marry you. You go, you cultivate, you get to know them. You take them out for coffee, you take them out for tea, you take them out for lunch, breakfast, whatever it is. And you move them along that stage until you get to the making the ask. And even in the making the ask, all those times you're taking them to coffee or lunch, you're finding out what they like, what they don't like. You're finding out what they would support within your organization, what they are interested in supporting within your organization. You're doing your homework. For example, you wouldn't want to go and ask somebody that's capable of giving you $500,000 for $5,000. First of all, you might insult them. But second, most importantly, you have left money on the table. So you make sure you do your homework. And then when you are going on the ask, when that board member is going on the ask, make sure they take a staff person along with them. So it's the potential donor, a board member, and a staff person, because a staff person can answer those questions that maybe a board member can't ask, some of those operational questions that they can't ask. Okay. And then stage 3 is my favorite part, which is stewardship. And that's thanking the donor and letting them know that their gift made a difference, and maintaining donor relationships. So board members can send thank you letters. They can do donor recognition activities. They can make sure that that donor gets invited to special events that the organization holds. They can provide updates from the organization. It's not over once you received a donation from a donor. By any means, it's just getting started, because you're going to be stewarding them along the way so that you can get a second gift. You have to show appreciation. If you remember why people don't give, because you just failed to say thank you. So keep that in mind as you're going through this. Let me just kind of simplify it for you. Board members that are afraid of the ask, it's okay. All your board members are not going to be askers. You can have your board, if you have some great door openers, they're lending their credibility and their name, and they're introducing you to potential donors. Then you have those that actually ask for the money. They're not afraid. They're very passionate about the mission. They understand that it's an investment into the mission, that they're not asking for themselves. And then you have those that steward, those that send those personal thank yous, those that pick up the phone and, will pick up the phone and thank the donor for their gift to their organization. And so if you have a board of 14, divide it up, divide those duties up, because those are all processes of fundraising. So I say all that to say, this is my track record. I recently completed this training with a new nonprofit board. They informed me that it made them see their services in a new light, and they better understood how to leverage their role as a board member to fundraise and bring awareness about the mission of the organization to the community. I also used this approach for over 15 years as a CEO of a nonprofit organization. Again, we raised $2.5 million each year, and we are in the third poorest county in the United States. So I know that this approach works. So I really encourage you to sit down, examine your board, see who's your door openers, see who's your askers, see who are your thankers, and involve everybody in the fundraising process. So thank you. That is my webinar. Thank you for attending my webinar. If you're interested in going deeper into this and would like to explore how all this relates to you, book a call with me. And on that call, we can discuss how to get the conversation started with your board, stages of fundraising, and board myths. So thank y'all so very much. I don't see any questions out there. I would be very well to entertain questions, but to chat with me more, here you can log on and go request an appointment with me. My consult is a free consult. I would love to talk to anyone out there. Thank y'all so very much. And I really hope that this helps.